Okay, good morning, class. So we're just getting on with the explanation for exercise 5. Examples for exercise 5. And the examples of exercise 5 is on page 50. But exercise 5 is on page 56. Okay, so this is the example on page 55. Okay. So here we are told that logarithmic graphs and the inverse. If the inverse of an exponential function is a logarithmic function, then the inverse of a log function is the exponential function. Okay. I think we just did that already in the previous lesson. Okay, we touched based on this already. But anyway, so let's do this quickly. So number 1, we are told that if f of x is equal to y, which is equal to log x base 3, find the inverse of f in the form of y equals. Okay. So what do we do here for the inverse function? We interchange x and y. Okay. So that would simply be, if I go with this here, it's going to be x is equal to log y base 3. So what happens now? That will go on to 3 and y will go on its own. Not so. So therefore y is equal to 3 to the x. And this is the inverse of f of x. Okay, that's fairly simple, no? Let's look at number 2. We go with this here now. So y is equal to log x base a quarter. So this would be, we're interchanging x and y. So it's your inverse. So x is equal to log x base, so log y base x. Log y base 4. But I'm missing this up here. So what do? I put x on the base and y on its own. So therefore y is equal to a quarter raised to the x. Or it could also be written as, what can this be written as? 4 to the negative. The same. Okay. So that is your inverse. Okay. So if I must just draw this graph here, let me just show you what it's going to look like. We know that the x, 3 to the x graph is going to be, if x is 0, y is 1. If x is 1, y is 3. So the graph is going to be a decreasing function. Okay? So this is your inverse function. That's your exponential graph. Not so. So what do we do for the inverse function? For its inverse, which is the function, we interchange x and y. So 0 and 1 becomes 1 and 0. 3 and 1 becomes 1 and 3 becomes 1 and 3 and 1. So that is the function, and is reflected in the line. You see the same thing happening over and over and over. However, the values just change a bit, not even drastically. It becomes from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. Or if I see 5 is the biggest of all that we use in this exercise. Okay, let's look at this one, people. We know that the exponential graph is going to be easier to draw. So if you go here with this graph for the inverse function, if x is minus 1, y is 4, that's 3. So that's minus 1 and 4. X is 0, y is 1. x is 1, y is a quarter. So the graph is going to be a decreasing exponential function. That is your inverse function. For your function, what do? We interchange x and 1. So negative 1 and 4 becomes 4 and negative 1. Okay, 1 and 0 becomes 0 and 1 becomes 1 and 0. And then the other point was 1 and a quarter becomes a quarter and 1, which is there. The graph is going to come close but doesn't touch and go through there. And that is the function. And the function is reflected in the line. Y is equal to? Okay. People, easier than this is not going to get. Okay. So for homework, I would like you guys to do exercise 5. I'm going to do the whole exercise, okay? So exercise 4 I've selected a few sums, and exercise 5 is of course the whole exercise. Okay, that basically brings us to the end of the examples for exercise 5. Okay.